Oh, please, forget where your body is in the world. And welcome to the stage, Guy Kelly!
Hello folks, thank you Tom, thank you Sean. I've been introduced a lot of ways. That was definitely one of them. Hello folks, thank you very much for coming to my presentation today. If you take a moment to just have a look under your seats, you should see the back of the head of the person behind you. See now, that's funny, that's a joke, on the idea that if you leant down far enough to look under your seat, you'd see the back of the head of them. So I have this problem a lot. I tell jokes and it always feels like there's something missing between me and the audience. Just a little bit of extra information, which is why I've put together my talk today. My jokes are good. And here are the reasons why. So if you don't laugh, then that's a you problem. And not because my jokes are archaic, convoluted, and just fundamentally inaccessible. The autism diagnosis is thanks for asking. So the first joke we're starting with today is, when is a door not a door when it's a gape? Okay, it is good that some of you laughed, and you will get a sticker afterwards if you talk to me, but the whole point of this is I want everybody to understand this joke and everybody to laugh. So if you laughed, I'm pleased, thank you, but I don't want the person sitting next to you who didn't laugh to think, oh, I'm not doing very well at being an audience. Oh no. That's not what this is about. I really do want to bring everyone along together. And so let's get into this. So when is a door not a door when it's a gape? Obviously this relies on the understanding of the old joke. When is a door not a door when it's a jar? So this is good. So you're learning already. So this is funny because a jar means slightly open, okay? Which is a thing that a door can be. But a jar sounds like a jar, which means a jar, which isn't a thing a door can be. Although, potentially you could define a jar as a kind of door if your only definition of door was something that you can open. But you shouldn't do that because it will confuse things. So now we've established what this joke is based on, we need to talk about the 7 different kinds of love in ancient Greece. You've got philia, eros, storge, xenia, thrautia, and agape. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Guy, what about caritas? Obviously, caritas is a later Latin translation of these. That's not what we're talking about. In the 1930s, this gentleman, whose name is Anders Nygren, he is a Swedish theologian. He wrote a 2-part treatise called Agape and Eros, a study of the Christian idea of love. And in this, he posited that Eros, which you might understand as the sort of either romantic love between people or a sort of love between friends, basically a very human kind of love that goes between people. He argued that this was an inherently selfish kind of love compared to agape, which you might generally understand as the love that God has for all of his creation, which he saw as a more self-sacrificing and a more noble kind of love. Okay, so keep that in mind. The next thing I want to talk about some of this for later. So adore obviously comes from the Latin ad to orare, meaning to sort of speak or to pray. So adore ad orare, originally meant to sort of treat with supplication, to approach with reverence as you would a god. Obviously meanings change as language evolves. It now means either to love something very deeply, oh Sandra, I adore you, or that you quite like a certain kind of food. Oh Sandra, I adore nice and spicy knickknacks. How did you know? So when is adore not adore when it's agape? This is quite a rare joke, you're very lucky. Because half of this joke works when spoken. So adore, right, which means to love something very deeply, sounds like adore, which means adore. Okay? And so that's what it sounds like, but written down, the word agape, if you transliterated agape from Greek, so alpha, gamma, alpha, pi, epsilon, agape, it looks, so agape is something, it means wide open, okay? Which is a thing that a door can be. Whereas, agape, which is the self-sacrificial concept of God's love for his creation, isn't something that a door can be. And so, like I say, this is a very rare occasion of a joke that half works written down, half works when spoken, and as a result, is significantly less than the sum of its parts. Which explains the muted response at the start. However, now that we all know why this joke is funny, I'm going to tell it again. And this gives all the people who at the start didn't really laugh because they were like, other people are laughing, but it doesn't feel right. Now they're going to know why it is funny. So let's try it again. Hello, everybody. When is a door not a door? When it's agape. Okay, that's my first joke, and that was 7 minutes 46 seconds. So I've got time for one more. It's going to have to be a quick one, so you will need to keep the pace with me here. So, Dean Cundy, well, that answers that question. Okay, so the first thing, who is Dean Cundy? Born in March 1946 in Alhambra, California, he's a cinematographer and director, and he's worked on films such as Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York, The Thing, Psycho 2, Back to the Future, Big Trouble in Little China, and other films. Now, other films isn't the name of a film. That's just me letting you know that there are other different films that he's worked on. So that one isn't a film. So you might be wondering, what is a cinematographer? I'd hasten to add that's not him saying that. He knows what a cinematographer is because he is one. He might be answering that question in that picture, but I'm not sure. This is just a rhetorical device. Please stay with me. 8 minutes 40, this is fine. What does a cinematographer actually do? A cinematographer basically frames the film. So the director's vision is what the film is going to look like, and the cinematographer or the director of photography works to help that. So they choose the framing, they choose the lenses, they choose the camera, all that sort of thing. In 1988, he was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Cinematography. This was for a live-action and animated movie starring Christopher Lloyd and Bob Hoskins called Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now, if you think about the title of that film, but instead of the notion of it relating to crime, but instead relating to cinematography, well, Dean Cundy, well, that answers that question.